Okay, I'm Sheff Sweet, and I'm from Ashland, Ohio. My wife, Bobby, uh, passed passed away in March this year from ESO. Yeah, we met in '78. We're married in February of '79. So we made it 37 years. Well, I had dealt with asbestos before. In the line of work I was in, we actually used some asbestos as heat retainers to keep the heat off of some of these. But at that point in time, nobody thought anything about it. You know, that was early '70s when that was all going on. So I was familiar with asbestos. Was I familiar with what could come from it? And had no idea. I had no idea.
Do you remember the first time you heard of mesothelioma?
The day she was diagnosed, which was, let's see, would have been September of 2012. No idea up till then.
What was your first reaction to it?
Shock. Total shock. And she started having some breathing problems, and she was diagnosed that it was just a change in the seasons, probably your allergies, change your medication a little bit. And it kept getting worse, so her doctor got her in for a chest x-ray, and by the time she drove from the hospital back home, which is maybe a 10-minute drive, they had called her and said, get back here right away. And we went back to the hospital, and they said, your left lung cavity is filled with fluid. So fortunately, we had a very good doctor in Ashland who said, I'm going to send you to a specialist in Columbus. So we got set up with the specialist there, and he said, I don't want to scare you, but I don't think this is fluid. He says, very rare case, but I think this is mesothelioma. You're the wrong sex, you're the wrong age, you're in the wrong environment, but I'm going to do the biopsy and find out. And he did, and it was. The first thing the doctor in Columbus says is, don't go home, look this up on the internet. Don't do that. Well, the first thing she did was went home, pulled the internet up, looked it up, right? So then we got really worried because we had no idea what we really were dealing with, except it must be serious on the time frame he gave us. You're just numb. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense. We're racking our brains, where could she have possibly been exposed to this? And, where do we go from what do we do and where do we go from here? His advice was, you maybe have 6 months, or call Dr. Sugarbaker in Boston. Then 2 weeks before Thanksgiving in November of that year, she had her first major surgery. They scraped her lung, her chest wall, her diaphragm, her back, and peeled it all out. And they were convinced that they'd gotten it all and she would live forever, because that's all he does is mesothelioma. She had a full year, I want to say maybe a little more than a full year of perfect checkups. We go back every 6 months. I want to say maybe every 3 months to start with, and then every 6 months after that. Everything would be fine, CAT scans, and everything would show that everything was fine. And then, it started popping up again here and there, and it's not up here. And all of a sudden, we're back down here again. I always said I'd get a tattoo when I was 60, but I knew that was not going to fly. So she passed away on a Tuesday, and on Thursday I went down and got her name. So I don't know if she's happy about that now or not, but we got it. I had to do something. Wear her at any rate. Little things like that, help. Yeah, there's always anger. Why her? She went from being able to walk and get around to not being able to move. The last 3 or 4 days, she couldn't talk. She was skin and bone she couldn't eat. People don't even know what it is. I mean, I went through the same thing. You know, they said, well, what kind of cancer does she have? I said, mesothelioma. No, what kind of cancer does she have? Is that lung cancer? Well, yeah, kinda. But the treatment for breast cancer, although it can be intense, is usually pretty successful. That's not the case with measles. And measles is a terrible disease. I mean, it attacks, there's no rhyme or real reason to it. I mean, and people that have been exposed readily to it all many years of their life never get it. You know, so it's, you're just mad about it. You're just mad. Yeah, she was murdered. Absolutely. Absolutely. But she touched a lot of lives. In a good way. And they all came to show their respect. And that was great to see. Great to see.